Good evening. Yes. Do you have any doubt from last class?
No, sir.
Fawaz?
No, sir.
So next we have to start with projectile. First, what do you mean by projectile motion? So you will say motion of a body in two-dimensional plane, x-axis and y-axis both, under the effect of gravity alone is termed as projectile motion. So it will be motion of a body in two-dimensional plane under the effect of gravity alone is called projectile motion. Now we have certain assumptions to define this particular projectile. First is air resistance is neglected. Due to which there will be no opposition force along horizontal direction or vertical direction due to air. So horizontal velocity will be always constant. Horizontal velocity will be always constant. Next, gravity is taken to be constant, for which height attained by that particular projectile is very small, so that there will be no effect of gravity over that. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Fawaz, any doubt?
No, sir.
Okay. So we mainly divide this projectile into two parts. First is horizontal projectile, and second is angular or oblique projectile. First, write it down.
Done, sir.
Done, sir.
First is horizontal projectile. Suppose a body is projected at some height horizontally at constant velocity u. So it will move along this path like this to hit at this particular point. So this will be your y-axis, x-axis. And if you define motion of body in this path, so there will be two different types of motion. One is it will be going along vertical path like this due to influence of gravity. to hit the ground at this instant. Similarly, there will be another type of motion in this that will be in horizontal direction due to its initial projection along this path till this point. So in this particular projection, this body will move along x-axis due to this initial horizontal velocity, and in y-axis due to effect of gravity. So you can say it is motion under two-dimensional plane. Is it clear, Fawaz?
Yes, sir.
So it will be due to gravity, and it will be due to horizontal projection. At any instant till this point, it will have velocity along x-axis as Vx and another along y as Vy, so that the resultant of them along this direction will be V, making some angle theta with horizontal like this. Or you may define theta with respect to vertical. So this will be theta with vertical. At this instant, position of particle along x-axis from this point to this point will be x, and along y-axis from this point to this point is y. Total height from which body has projected from ground or from horizontal level is called height of projection. Total horizontal distance at which ball will land from point of projection is termed as range. First, draw it. Fawaz, do you have any doubt till this part?
No, sir.
Okay. Just write it down.
Done, sir.
Done, sir.
Now we can break this particular motion into two parts depending upon their projection. First is motion along x-axis. Initial velocity along x-axis is u, and since this particular velocity is constant, so acceleration along x-axis will be 0. Similarly, motion along y-axis, initial velocity along y-axis will be 0 as body is projected along x-axis. So there will be no component of velocity along y-axis. It means initial velocity along y-axis will be 0. Next is acceleration on y-axis is due to gravity alone. So there will be acceleration along y-axis as ay. Now, using these two terms along x-axis and y-axis, we can define displacement, velocity in respective coordinate. Let's say along x-axis, using first equation of motion, v equals to u plus at as a 0. So you will get v is equals to u as equation first. Similarly, for displacement along x-axis, s is equals to ut plus half at squared. So you'll get s is equals to u into t as acceleration is 0. So let's say this will be equation number second. Similarly, try to define velocity and displacement along y-axis. So it will be v is equals to u plus at, u is 0, a is g into t. So this will be equation number third. And s is equals to ut plus half at square. So s is y, u is 0. So it will be half times gt square. Equation number fourth. Ifra, is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Now, using these four equations, we can define different term. First is time of flight. Time of flight means the total time taken by a particle from the point of projection till it hit the ground. The total duration of time for which the body was in air is termed as time of flight. So using fourth equation of motion, if you put y equals to h in equation fourth, you will get time of flight as t is equals to root under 2h by gravity. Fawaz, is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Next is height of projection. So again, if you put y is equals to h in equation fourth and t to be time of flight, it will be h is equals to half times gt square as height of projection. And third is horizontal range. The total horizontal distance covered by the body from point of projection till it hit the ground again is horizontal projection. So for this, put x is equals to r and t to be time of flight in equation 2. You will get r is equals to u times t or u times 2h by g root under. So this will be your third expression for horizontal range. Ifra, is it clear till this part?
Yes, sir.
Okay, just write it down.
Done, sir.
Done, sir.
Similarly, using these equations, we can define next final velocity at any instant. Since in this part, we have two different component of velocity. One is along x-axis, the other is along y-axis, and these two are perpendicular to each other. So net velocity will be root under vx square, vy square, for which vx is equals to u and vy is equals to g into d. First, simplify these two terms for Vx and Vy and put it in this part, you'll get final velocity of hitting the ground or at any instant of time. Next is direction of particle at any instant. So whenever you have to find direction, just try to find angle at that particular point. So for this angle, we have two different components. One is along x-axis, that is Vx, and the other is along y-axis, that is Vy. So if you take tan theta, it will be perpendicular over base. If you are defining this particular theta with respect to x, and if you are taking this particular theta with respect to y, so it will be Vx over Vy. Let me check. So in this part, I have taken theta with respect to vertical. So this Vy will be treated as base and Vx will be treated as perpendicular. But suppose if you take this particular angle to be theta, this horizontal component Vx with respect to that theta will be treated as base and Vy will be treated as perpendicular. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
So in this part, I have taken theta to be with respect to vertical. So it will be Vx divided by Vy. Vx is u and Vy is g into t. So you'll define direction of particle at any instant using this equation. Next is equation of trajectory. Fawaz, do you have any idea what do you mean by trajectory?
No, sir.
Ifra?
So trajectory is the path followed by the particle during its motion.
Good. So trajectory is path followed by particle during its motion. Since to define path of particle, you have to define an equation having x coordinate and y coordinate only. So using equation second and using equation fourth, you can define relation between x and y. So from second equation, we can write t is equals to x by u and put it in equation fourth, you will get y equals to g over 2 times of u square times x square. So this would be an equation in relation of x and y, which define path or about particle at any instant or at any position. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
In this part, since y is directly proportional to x square, so in an equation, if a variable having even power with respect to the other, so it will define parabolic curve to the opposite axis. It means path will be parabolic. Fawaz, is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, just write it down.
Done, sir.
Done, sir.
If a body is projected horizontally so that it hits the ground at 45 degrees in 3 seconds with vertical. Find first height of projection, second velocity of projection, third range. Just use the above equations and try to find these three terms related to this problem.
So your voice is not coming.
Okay, sorry. If your answer is correct, for height of projection, just use h is equals to half g t square. Put the value of t to be 3 seconds and gravity is 10 meter per second square. Okay, Fawaz?
Okay, okay, sir.
For next, velocity of projection, just use in relation of this theta, we had tan theta equals to Vx divided by Vy. Vx is u and Vy is g into t. Fawaz, you have to use the gravity to be 10. Good, Fawaz. If your answer is correct, try to find third part.
Okay, sir.
Good, Ifra. So for third part, to find range, R will be U times T. For Vaz, if you put in this second equation, theta to be 45 degree, tan 45 is 1. You have to calculate. G is 10 and time taken is 3. So you will get U equals to 30 meter per second. Now put the values in this part. U is 30, time is 3, so it will be total 90 meters. Vaz, is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, just write it down.
Done, sir.
Suppose ball is projected at constant velocity u horizontally from top of stair having height and width of each step is H and W unit. Find the nth step on which it will hit again. Let me define you this particular problem. Suppose you have stair like this. So on to this part. Now a ball is thrown horizontally from this point at some initial velocity u with respect to horizontal. So it will move along this path to land at this point, like this. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Awaz, is it clear?
Yes, sir.
So you can draw a vertical line from this point, like this, and a horizontal line like this. As each step is h unit high, so total step from point of projection till hit the ground, it will be n times h. Similarly, each step is w unit wide, so the total horizontal distance from point of projection till it hit again, it will be n times w, and it will behave as range for that particular ball. Now we have height and range. Just put the equation of the relation of height and range and try to find the value of n. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Range equals to u times root under 2h by g. Put the value of r to be n times w and h to be n times small h, and simplify it for small n. If you put r to be n times w, u as it is, root under 2, h is n times h divided by gravity. On squaring both sides, it will be n square w square equals to u square 2 times n into h divided by gravity. So this term and this term will cancel out. So you will get n equals to 2 times u square times h divided by g times w square. So this will be our final expression. Ifra, is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Fawaz, any doubt?
No, sir.
Okay. You have written till this part?
Yes, sir. Done.
Yes.
Okay. There was a question in NEET 21. A truck starting from rest accelerates uniformly at 2 meters per second square at 10 seconds. A ball is dropped from its window. Find its velocity at 12 seconds. Ifra, should I give you some hint?
Yes, sir.
Suppose a truck which is initially at rest, let's say at this point, at t is equals to 0. At 10 seconds, a stone is dropped from its window, let's say at this point. At this point. So as we know, all object always acquire velocity of system whose it was a part of. So this particular at 10 seconds, just 1 minute. A stone is dropped from its window, find its velocity at 12 seconds. So at this time, t equals to 0, velocity is 0, and it is accelerating along this direction with 2 meters per second square. So at this instant, this truck must have acquired some horizontal velocity. So it will have Vx, which is equals to u plus a times t, that is 20 meters per second. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
At this point of dropping, this particular stone will have only horizontal component of velocity along this direction. Now, due to the effect of gravity, it will start to move along this path. So at any instant, at this point, there will be a velocity along x-axis, another along y-axis, Vy, and time at this particular point will be 12 seconds. It means from point of dropping to this point, it will be just 2 seconds. Fawaz, is it clear?
Yes, sir.
So as we know from the above discussion, for horizontal projectile, there will be no change in its velocity along horizontal direction. So as we have velocity along x-axis 20 meters per second, so it will be 20 meters per second. Y component will depend upon gravity, so it will be G into T. G is 10 and time is 2 seconds, so it will be 20 meter per second. And since these two vectors are perpendicular to each other, so this will be your net velocity V. So V equals to root under Vx square Vy square. So you'll get 20 root 2 meter per second. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Fawaz, any doubt?
Sir, I didn't understand this.
Okay. Since from point of thrown, object or all objects always acquire velocity of system whose it was initially a part of. So stone at the point of projection or dropping was a part of this particular truck, which was moving with 20 meter per second. So you will say stone have velocity along x-axis as 20 meter per second. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Fawaz? Okay. Now we have to find velocity at 12th second, which means 2 seconds after the free fall or after dropping. So after dropping, the stone will move in the effect of gravity alone. So it will have two direction motion. One will be along x-axis due to its velocity with truck, and the other velocity will be due to its gravity or due to the effect of gravity along y-axis. So I have just defined Vx and Vy, and since these two terms are perpendicular to each other, so V will be under root of Vx square and Vy square. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Done, sir.
Done, sir.
Next is angular or oblique projectile. A point is projected from this point so that it will move along this path like this to hit the ground at this point. Let a body is thrown at some angle theta at some velocity u like this. Now, if you break this particular component or velocity of this component, so one will be along x-axis, that is u times cos theta, and the other along y-axis, so it will be u times sine theta. Avaz, is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Now, since this particular object have two different direction of motion or two different direction of velocity, so it will move in two different direction. First, along y-axis, due to the effect of u sine theta and gravity, it will move like this to reach at highest point and then return back along this to hit the ground. So along vertical direction, it will be for u sine theta as well as gravity both. And we'll have motion along horizontal direction from point of projection till this point. It will be due to only u cos theta, and there is no any opposition force, so it will move with a constant velocity along this direction. So we can say this particular object have two directional motion. One is along x-axis and the other is along y-axis. At highest point, since there will be no any y component, or you will say y component will be 0, so object will have only x component, that is u cos theta. This particular point is maximum height attained by the body, so it will be h, and gravity will be along this direction g. So these two terms will be perpendicular to each other. Total horizontal distance traveled by the body from point of projection to hit the ground back is termed as range. Now from the diagram, you will say or observe this height or this line of symmetry break this particular curve into two symmetrical parts. So it will be r by 2 along this and r by 2 along this, from this point to this point. Ifra, is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, as we have done in motion the gravity, at same horizontal level, velocity of object while going up and velocity of object while coming back will be equal. So you will say at this point of hitting back to the ground, it must hit the ground with same velocity u and at same inclination with respect to vertical or with respect to horizontal theta, for which if you break its component, so it will be u cos theta along horizontal direction and u sine theta along vertical direction. Fawaz, is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, first write it down.
Done, sir.
Done, sir.
From this diagram, we can write velocity initial. Since we have two components, that is along x-axis and y-axis, so it will be u cos theta along I cap and u sine theta along j cap. Velocity of object finally at this point of hitting the ground, so it will be u cos I cap, and since y component along vertically downward direction, so it will be minus of u sine theta j cap. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So just remember, there is only change in sign of vertical component or y component for velocity from point of projection and hitting back to the ground. Next is using these two terms, we may define average velocity of particle during this whole motion. It will be Vi plus Vf divided by 2. So on simplifying it, you will get u times cos theta along I cap. Similarly, difference of velocity Vf minus Vi, it will be minus of 2 times u sine theta j cap. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Done, sir.
Done, sir.
Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Baz, any doubt?
No, sir.
Next is, we can break this particular entire term in two parts. First is motion along x-axis, and second is motion along y-axis. Along x-axis, we have two components. One is initial velocity, so it will be u times cos theta, and acceleration, it will be 0. Initial velocity along y-axis is u times sine theta, and acceleration along y-axis will be minus of g. Now, using these equation for equation of motion, we may define different terms. First is final velocity along x-axis. It will be u cos theta only, as acceleration along x-axis is 0. So this will be equation first. Displacement along x-axis, it will be u cos theta into t. Acceleration is 0. Similarly, along y-axis, Vy equals to u sine theta minus of g into t. Using second equation of motion. And third, Vy square equals to u times sine theta square minus of 2gy. So this will be equation third. Third, fourth, and fifth. Ifra, is it clear till this part?
Yes, sir. It is clear.
Fawaz, any doubt?
No, sir.
Done, sir.
Done, sir.
Do you have any doubt?
No, sir.
Ifra?
No, sir.
Okay. Now, using these equations, we may define different terms related to this particular projectile. First is time of flight. So for this, put y equals to 0 in equation 4. And on solving, you will get t equals to 2 times u sine theta divided by gravity. Next is maximum height attained by the body. So put Vy equals to 0 and y is equals to h in fifth equation. You will get h is equals to u square sine square theta divided by 2 times gravity. Next is horizontal range. So put x is equals to r and t to be time of flight in second equation. On solving, you will get r equals to u square sine of 2 theta divided by gravity. Awaz, is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Ifra, any doubt?
No, sir.
Okay. Now the next term is equation of trajectory or path followed by particle. For this, we can define from equation 2 t equals to x by u cos theta and put in equation 4. On solving, you will get y equals to x times tan theta minus g divided by 2 times of u square cos square theta times x square. So again, in this part, y is directly proportional to x square, which means path is parabolic. Just write it down.
Done, sir.
Done, sir.
Okay. Now I'm defining some relationship on the basis of these terms so that it will be more easier for you to solve different problems and quickly. Relationship. Suppose we have time equals to 2 times of u sine theta by g. Next is range, which is equals to u square sine of 2 theta divided by gravity. Third is height, u square sine square theta divided by 2 times gravity. So for any relationship, we have to eliminate some term. Like in this part, we want to eliminate u square. So in this first part for time, we have only u. So squaring both sides, it will be 4 times u square sine square theta. So it will be sine theta into sine theta divided by gravity square. So it will be gravity into gravity. Second is range. You may expand this equation as r equals to u square 2 times sine theta into cos theta divided by gravity. And third is height. So it will be u square sine theta into sine theta divided by 2 times gravity. For any relationship, just divide them and simplify it. You'll get relationship between them. Let's say for first two term, t and this, similarly these two terms. So divide t square and range. Put the value of t square in numerator. So it will be 4u square sine theta into sine theta. Divide by gravity into gravity. For range, r is equals to u square 2 times sine theta into cos theta divided by gravity. Fawaz, is it clear till this part?
Yes, sir.
Now, just eliminate the common part. This g and this g will cancel out. U square will cancel out. 2 in 2 times with 4. Sine theta and sine theta will cancel out. So you're left with 2. Sine theta divided by cos theta is tan theta divided by gravity. So on rearranging, it will be gt square equals to 2 times r tan theta. So this is the first relation between time of flight and horizontal range. Ifra, is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Similarly, if you divide range and height, range is u square 2 times sine theta into cos theta divided by gravity. For height, u square sine theta into sine theta divided by 2 times gravity. So on eliminating this or common term, g and g will cancel out, u square cancel out. So on simplifying, you will say r divided by h equals to 2 into 2, 4. Sine theta divided by cos theta is tan theta. On cross multiplication, it will be r tan theta equals to 4h. Fawaz, is it clear till this part?
Sir, from which that 4 was cancelled and got 2.
So in this first part, since we have 2 in this part at this point. For
Okay,
range,
okay.
I have written 2 sine theta into cos theta. So this 2 will cancel this particular 4 by 2. So you'll get 2 tan theta by 4. And this part, this 2 and this 2 will on multiplication to give you 4. Ifra, is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, if you further relate these two terms, for left part, we have 2r tan theta, and for right part, we have only r tan theta. So on rearranging them, you will say gt square is equals to 2r tan theta, which is equals to 8 times h. I've just multiplied by 2 in both parts. So this will be your final relation between these three terms. Is it clear?
Yes, sir. Done, sir.
Done, sir.
A particle is projected at four I cap plus 3j cap. Find first velocity of hitting back, to the ground. Second, angle of projection. U. Then you'll get time, range, height. Try to solve. Good, Ifra. Fawaz, I defined you above. There is a relation between initial velocity and final velocity as V final will be equals to 4 I cap, and there will be change in direction of Y component only. So it will be minus of 3J cap. Is it clear?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Now the next step. Next is this particular term, and this particular term will define you component of velocity in two different directions. So this will be your x component. So you may write it as u cos theta equals to 3. And this will be y component. So you may write it as u times sine theta equals to 3. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Now just divide these two terms. You will get the value of theta. Using that theta, try to draw this particular triangle. So on dividing, you will get u and u will cancel out. So cos divided by sine, it will be cot equals to 4 by 3. As cot theta is equals to base by perpendicular. So base of this triangle will be 4 and perpendicular, it will be 3. So using Pythagoras theorem, it will be 5. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Now, try to define value of u using this triangle. So you will say, as we have u cos theta equals to 4, so cos theta from this particular triangle, it will be base over hypotenuse. So it will be 4 by 5 equals to 4. So this 4 and this 4 will cancel out. So u will be 5 meter per second. Like this. Fawaz, is it clear?
Yes, yes, sir.
Ifra, any doubt?
No, sir.
Now we have u and theta. So on putting these two values, you may find time of flight, range, height, any term related to these two. Try to find time, range, height. Good, Ifra. Ifra, just check your calculation.
Okay, sir.
Fawaz, for time of flight, just use 2 times of u sine theta divided by gravity. U is given 5. Sine theta is perpendicular by hypotenuse. So it will be 3 by 5 divided by gravity, which is 10. So this 5 and this 5 will cancel out. 2 into 3, 6. Divided by 10, it will be 0.6 seconds as time of flight. Fawaz, is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Now, using the above relationship, gt square is equals to 2r tan theta equals to 8 times h. If you use first and second, these two part, you have g 10, time is 0.6, so on squaring it will be 0.36. 2 r we have to calculate, and tan theta is perpendicular by base, so it will be 3 by 4. So on rearranging, r will be 4 into 10 into 0.36 divided by 2 into 3, 6. So this 6 and this 36 will cancel out. So it will be 0.06. 4 into 6, it will be 24 into 10. So it will be just 2.4 meter. And similarly, on rearranging these two terms, you will get height. Ifra, is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Awaz, any doubt?
No, sir.
Okay, so let's stop here. In next class, I will define you some more relationship for this angular projectile. Then we'll start relative motion in 2 dimension. Last part of this chapter, okay?
Okay, sir.
Okay then,
Thank you, sir.
thank you.